There you go, there you go. Right then, good day to you all, wherever you are in the world. You're here with me, John Armstrong, and my good friend Ashley Perry. I'm going to link his channel down below in the description. Now, in this video, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not a review, it's not anything like that. We're going to be talking about the mindset of a digital nomad. So we're coming to you from an awesome resort in Bali, up in the hills, and as you can see, the pool that we're in is a little bit chilly, as Ashley's just found out.
A little bit.
How's your sack? So yeah, topic of conversation, the mindset of a digital nomad. Do you consider yourself to be a digital nomad, Ashley?
Yes, I do, Jonathan.
Why is that?
Because I've been doing it for the last 3 years.
Come a bit closer, we can't really hear you very well.
Can't hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing it for I started in this business in 2019, did 6 months in London, and then decided that it was crap over there.
What made you get into doing this?
Watching YouTube videos.
No, I mean, what made you want to start your own online business or start working online as opposed to, you know, a regular job like 99.96% of the population?
I always wanted to not be in a 9-to-5 doing the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
But I never knew what I could do to stop doing that.
Right. Why didn't you want to stay in the corporate? I mean, you were in a job when you were earning what, 80 grand a year?
Yeah.
What were you doing exactly?
I was working as a software platform sales guy.
And I mean, 80 grand a year, that's pretty good. I mean, what made you want to get out of that? I mean, most people would be super happy with that kind of job, right?
Well, I was just working in London, you know, where most of the year the weather is terrible.
Yep.
And, you know, commuting an hour each way every day, you know, into a packed train, smelling other people's armpits, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
lovely.
And working with absolute douchebags, to be honest, and yeah, just not really enjoying it, and going into an office that I didn't want, you know, working for someone else and progressing their dream, not actually doing anything for myself. Well, I was doing something for myself. If you look at what everyone else is doing, they're wanting to get a mortgage, they're wanting to get kids, they're wanting to buy a house, they're, you know, wanting to go on an amazing holiday with the 20-25 days a year that they get off.
Yeah.
And that was what I was thinking I was working for myself to work towards, you know, that they were my rewards, you know. And I always knew that it wasn't for me, but I didn't think I had any other options, so I was trying to make the best of it, you know.
It's interesting, me and Ashley were kind of talking about this last night over dinner, and it's totally true. I mean, if you look at the way that things work in the West, well, in fact, in every country, right? You go to school, you go to university or college, and the whole time, you're kind of being molded into this perfect employee, right? You have to do your homework on time, and then you have to do your dissertations, your coursework, you have to get everything submitted on time, you have to come to school on time, you have to wear a shirt and tie at school. I don't know if you did, but I did. And it's all kind of preparing you to be this model employee. So you can go to a job interview, you can get into a good job, become an employee and support the whole system. Because that's the only way that the system really works, right? Unless you're a business owner, which not many people are. So I find that pretty interesting because in places like England, I mean, it's considered weird if you don't conform to that society, right? You know, so if you don't have a regular 9-to-5 job with a good prestigious company, you don't have the mortgage, you know, you don't go out to the pub on weekends. If you do anything that's outside of that, you're kind of considered a bit weird, right?
Yeah, I guess you are, but also your friends that you go to the pub with of a night or of the weekend, you know, they are happy for you that you're doing something different. Now I'm in this position, right?
Yeah.
They are happy for you and they would like to do something like that themselves, I guess. You know, I never felt weird from my friends making me feel like that, but, you you know, they're just in a different world. They're living a different life.
Yeah.
And so they can't really connect with it just because it's so far from where they are right now. And they just, like I was, when I was working in that job, I was like thinking, I don't have any other option. So when I was looking at people on Instagram in places like these, in pools like these, I was thinking that's great and everything, and I'm happy for them, you know, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm in this 9-to-5 job. I'm invested in that.
Yeah.
That is my life right now, and so I can't really ever do anything like that. Whereas we were also talking this morning,
Yeah.
saying that actually, although it's scary to take the plunge and say goodbye to that mortgage and say goodbye to that regular income every month and the norm in Western countries or any country where you know got jobs, it's actually kind of, I want to say easier once you get out to these places and live this kind of life because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The quality of life is better.
Yeah. Everything's
You know?
better. Everything's better. But I mean, if you put yourself back into that situation where you are in corporate London doing this 9-to-5 job, what things in your mind, what barriers do you have that tells you, oh, I can't go and be that person sat in that resort?
Two things.
Yeah, what?
Two things. One is that fear of losing that regular income because that's your safety net.
Yeah.
And two, having something to replace it income-wise.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I'm sure that's why a lot of people don't want this kind of lifestyle, or they're too scared to get into this kind of lifestyle because of those two things. But there's also a third thing, which is people just get into that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
They get their salary coming in every month, and then, you know, a portion of that salary goes towards paying the mortgage, a portion goes towards paying off the nice car that they've got, a portion goes towards, you know, going out to the pub or, you know, clubs or whatever over the weekend, and that just becomes their comfort zone, right? And most people are scared to get out of that comfort zone, don't you? Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And it's also like, I can't think, my brain's just gone there. I was literally looking at a couple of trees over there and I thought they looked really nice.
It's all about choices, right?
I've remembered now. So the thing is, you gotta want it enough.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, a comfort zone, it isn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
It isn't a case of just quitting your job and maybe have something to replace it financially and then just going. You know, I actually got fired from my job.
And why did you get fired?
Because that's how much I didn't like it. That I was doing really bad performance-wise, like not
Right.
making any sales and not hitting my numbers and all that sort of stuff. And so, so I got fired. So that was kind of like the catalyst for me that pushed me out the door.
Yeah.
Because I had a choice at that point to either get another job working for a competitor company, which I would have been able to do because with my knowledge of that original company, I could have gone there and they would have wanted me
Right.
that. And
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I probably wouldn't have told them about the fact that I wasn't hitting my numbers and stuff like
Right,
that.
that you got fired.
Or start my own business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they think about starting their own business, at least I did anyway, my version of starting my own business was like probably like a physical business or something like that.
A bit like Dragon's Den, you have to come up with your own unique product and then pitch it and get investors. And I get that.
Exactly. And what I didn't realize is that you don't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
But like I said previously, it's about, you need to want it enough because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. Like when I got fired from my job, I stayed in London for 6 months building this to the point where, you know, I was able to then get away and I went to Colombia first.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to want it enough because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, and that goes back to what you're saying about the comfort zone. Not enough people. They'd much prefer the comfort zone because it's easier, right? They can be technically lazy. They're in autopilot. They go to the job. They do the same things that they've been trained to do.
Yeah.
You know, you get better. You get promoted. You get all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And even if you don't enjoy your corporate job that much, it's security that you've got there. And the sad reality is, if you don't really enjoy your job that much, you're kind of locked into that for probably like 40 years of your life, right? And it's all about choices. I mean, you can choose to stay in that comfort zone and, you know, pay off the mortgage, go to the pub on the weekends, or you can choose an alternate life for yourself, which is what me and Ashley have done. And a lot of people thought that we were weird for doing this originally, but ultimately it's paid off for both of us. And it just goes to show, you know, you can create the life that you want, but you've got to take risks. You know, you've got to go out of that comfort zone, and you've got to make those choices in order to get where you want to be. So, and I think that's what sets us and other digital nomads apart from like 99.96% of the rest of the population, because we've taken that risk to go out of that normal life that most people consider to be normal, and we've taken that choice to go out of that life and do something for ourselves. So, you know, moving forward, how do you feel about your life now compared to back in the corporate days? Do you think you made the right choice?
Yes. Yes, of course. I mean, yes. I'd say one thing that popped into my head there when you asked that question is that, you know, with the corporate world and a job, you get a schedule.
Yeah.
You get you know, you do the same thing every day. You get up, you have a shower, you put on your suit, you go to work, you come back, you have dinner, you watch TV, and you go to sleep. So there is a schedule to that.
Yeah.
I would say one of the things about being a digital nomad is that can be difficult is making sure that you're disciplined.
Oh yeah, time management.
Time management, yeah, 100%.
So, I don't know about you, but for me, I get all of my work done before 11 a.m. So I wake up pretty early and I get everything done before 11 a.m. so I can spend the rest of the day doing whatever I want. What about you? Do you do kind of the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, being very honest with you, like, through my journey of being a digital nomad and running my own business, there's been periods where I've been lazy. There's periods where I've let that discipline go and not having a schedule.
Yeah.
But it's imperative that you either come back to that or maintain it.
Yeah.
But also don't be hard on yourself. Like, you're living this life for a reason to do what you want when you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I go through those periods of being super lazy and not really wanting to do anything. And then I'll go through these power bursts where I'll work like 8, 9, 10 hours a day if I got something that really needs to get done. And then I'll take time off again. But that's the beauty of this lifestyle. I mean, you create your own working hours. I mean, you can work at like 2 a.m. if you want. You know, it doesn't matter as long as you get the work done, right?
Mm-hmm. And also another thing is that me getting fired from my job, I was kind of forced to make this work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I see a lot of other people running businesses still maintaining their 9-to-5 job, which is fair enough because they've got responsibilities to maintain, right?
Yeah,
and payments to make or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I you know, looking back, although it was even like 10 times scarier because I was like literally zero money coming in, so I had to make it work.
Yeah.
I think that made it work faster for me.
Yeah, because you got that fire lit under your ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, you know, I get a lot of people emailing me and asking me, like, should I quit my job now? And I'm like, no, don't quit your job until you're earning enough money from this online stuff to be able to at least replace what you were earning or that you are earning in your job. Once you get to that level, and that might be like $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month, then you can consider quitting, because then you'll be able to put more time into your online business and be able to scale it up, right? But I never recommend quitting before you've started earning any decent money online. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying quit your job or get fired.
Yeah.
I just had no choice because I got fired, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't protest it and say, no, please take me back. So I was just like, I was all in, you know, like cards all in the pot, you know?
Yeah.
But that was just my story, you know? That's what I did previously, but, you know, I wouldn't change it.
So moving on, I mean, how much money have you earned over the past couple of days?
Well, I last checked last night, my account, and like $600.
Yeah. And this resort that we're staying in is around $150 a night, and that includes the food as well. So realistically, well, maybe not realistically, but you could, if you wanted to, live in this resort for as long as you wanted to, right? Because you've created this life for yourself where you can do your work from your laptop for a couple of hours in the morning and then enjoy the rest of the day in this swimming pool looking at this view, right?
And that's the thing, that $150 that you mentioned for here, that's not just the room, that's food.
Yeah.
That's your drinks around the pool.
Yeah.
That's massages.
Yep. It's
you
everything, you know.
And that's bonkers. So that's nothing I'm saying about like living in London when I was. Everything's much more expensive, as everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
So it's even like it was like the rent's crazy, the bills, the tax.
Yeah. And then you've got all the rules as well, and you've got charges for like little additional things that you don't get over here, and you've got to conform to all these rules. You know, there's no bending the rules or anything over there, right?
Well, that's what you were saying before as well. Like, that's why these economies work, is people conforming. It's people going to their job. It's paying their taxes.
Yeah.
It's, doing everything they're meant to do.
Yeah.
That's what makes a powerful economy, right? So it's I'm sure America and things like that are going to be the same.
Yeah.
But over here, obviously you still have to pay stuff, but it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The quality of life is better. It's sunny pretty much every day.
Yep.
And you can stay in a place like this.
Yep.
With your own like private infinity pool with Jurassic Park behind you for like $150.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's mad. So like John was saying, you can pay that money on a monthly basis and live here permanently.
Yeah.
Like, that's
if you wanted to, but again, it's all about choices. And if you are thinking about getting into the online space, creating an online business, and becoming a digital nomad and moving away from whatever country that you're in at the moment, which might be the UK, it might be the US, it's 100% possible, and it's actually easier than you probably think. A lot of people, they get freaked out when they think about emigrating to another country or moving away to another country, because again, you're in that comfort zone. But coming to a foreign country like this, you've probably got all these things in your mind like, oh, I don't speak the language, or I don't know how the currency works, I don't know where I'd stay, or I don't know.
Am I going to get diseases?
Am I going to get diseases? All these little questions that pop up. But seriously, don't think too much about it. Just do it, because you'll find it's actually way easier than you probably think. All you got to do is get yourself a plane ticket, go to a country that you think looks good or looks nice, go and get an Airbnb. It's so much easier now than it was like 5 years ago. Like, you just got to take the plunge.
Do you think it's like also it's been made in such a way, like these kind of places or this kind of life has been described in such a way to people that are working in a 9-to-5 in the corporate world, that this is unreachable for a day-to-day life, because they want you to pay vastly inflated prices with your 20 to 25 days a year that you get off from your corporate job. It's so out of reach because it's been marketed in that way, kind of. Like, maybe I'm, barking up the wrong tree with this, but like, I think maybe it's that. Like, a lot of people don't think that this is possible for a multitude of different reasons that we've discussed already.
Yeah.
But also, I think that these big companies don't want the majority of people to realise that they could do this permanently, because they want those, those package holidays.
And they want to keep you trapped in this whole 9-to-5 employee thing, because it helps the economy, it helps the other big businesses as well, right? And I think you're right about it scaring people from actually taking the leap of faith and moving here permanently. And stuff in the media doesn't help either on the news, about terrorists and bombs and stuff like that in Indonesia or other places around Southeast Asia. I find it way safer living here than back in the UK. I mean, in the UK, you'll know yourself, if you go to the wrong area of London at 3 a.m, you could get stabbed, you could get shot, you could get whatever for no reason whatsoever. I don't have that problem here. I could walk around the streets in Jakarta at 4 a.m. and nobody would bother me. Even if I've got like money hanging out my pocket, nobody's going to mug me, nobody's going to bother me at all. It's so safe out here. And that's like a misconception that a lot of people have when they think about foreign countries. They think that they're unsafe. They think that they're going to get mugged or stabbed or something, but no, it's not true.
And I just came from Mexico. And Mexico's like got a world-renowned reputation,
kidnapped
right?
And stuff like that, right?
Like drugs and like cartels going to kill you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we're not naive. Like you said, if you go to the wrong areas.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jakarta because you lived in Jakarta, but like
Jakarta's fine.
In Mexico, if you went to the wrong areas, fair enough, you might have a few issues because But if you're got your head screwed on straight, and you know, don't put yourself in stupid situations, then yeah, I was in an area of Mexico where I did it multiple times, walking home from the club,
and it was fine, right?
yeah.
So don't believe in all the myths. We're gonna wrap up this video because it's going on a bit longer than expected, but what are the key takeaways from today? We've got getting out of your comfort zone. If you really want to, you know, create a life that you dream about, you can absolutely make it happen. Don't get stuck in that corporate world if you're really not into it. There's other options out there. And also, you know, move into another country, and living in another country is not as hard and it's not as expensive as you probably think. And having an online business, working a couple of hours a day in the morning is absolutely awesome. So give us a fist pump. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode of me and my bald friend. Take it easy. Bye.